I'd like to welcome you to the Super Saturday Trading. It looks like we have John Gilardi on the line. Is Max here? John, are you there? I'd like to welcome everyone to the Super Saturday Trading. This is Ray Dietrich. We're going to get started here in just a second. Also on the call, we have Mr. John Gilardi and Mr. Max Westerfield. Are you gentlemen there?
I am here. This is Max.
Max, welcome to the call. Mr. Gilardi, are you there? All right. Well, I have 8 after. We have given it plenty of time for people to get on. Welcome to the Super Saturday call about understanding the matrix. There's been a lot of questions about how the matrix compresses, how it expands, how you get spillover, and things of that nature. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Max Westerfield, and we're going to go through this. Let me load up the presentation. Max, do you have the presentation up?
I do.
Okay. Um, all right, and do you have it in share mode? I just put it up, Max. You just tell me when to click when you're ready.
Okay. Okay, I believe I'm ready.
All right, buddy. All right, we have it up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Max Westerfield. This is our Chief Operating Officer. He's the gentleman that's created the compensation plan, so there's not a better person to explain it. And we also have Mr. John Gilardi on the call, who has written and dominated comp plans throughout his career in network marketing. So these two gentlemen are going to take it away, and we're going to get started. Take it away, Max.
All righty. Well, thank you everyone for being here. My name is Max Westerfield, and I am the COO at Panvoya. And today we're going to cover the compensation plan. So I guess let me go ahead and put this into presentation mode. Now, can everyone see my screen? Ray or John, I just want to verify. Is my screen up? Let me check over here. Okay. Okay, so here is the discussion for today. We're going to talk about the direct commissions, all the various pieces of the Smarter Way to Travel Panvoya compensation plan. We're going to talk about direct commissions. We're going to talk about the 3x10 force matrix. We're going to talk about the power of dynamic compression. And we're going to talk about a 50% sponsor matching bonus and the power of real retail customers. So the first thing let's talk about is the direct commissions. This is actually very, very straightforward. As you know, whenever one of your new customers joins a Smarter Way to Travel and they set up their account for the travel savings, they get $100 in travel savings for free. And right now we have the promotion through the 17th for everyone who joins as a travel affiliate / travel promoter. They get an additional $400 for a total of $500. But when the retail customers get started, they will have $100. Now, after you do the searches, and we won't go into that today, but you guys have seen just the tremendous real savings that an actual real consumer can have. Whenever in so many cases, save $600 here, you can save $14 there, you can save $720 there. But if the savings that are available are more than what you currently have in your account, you could purchase more. You get for $39, you can buy $100 in travel savings, and for $69, you can buy $200 in travel savings. And these really are, it's roughly 10%. We round it off just to make it simple. But for the $39, the direct commission is $4. For the $69, it's $7. For the $99 package, you'll make a $10, and for the $199 package, you make $20. It's very straightforward, and this goes to anyone. You'll make these direct commissions anytime anyone you refer, and they set up their account and they purchase more. We call it the enroller or sponsor, but it's also just of any retail customer or affiliate travel promoter. Whenever you are the one who referred them, you get the direct commission. So very simple, very straightforward. Now we're going to go into here the 3x10 force matrix and tell you how this works. Now for many of you who've been around network marketing for a while, a force matrix has been around for a long time, one of the most stable compensation plans out there. We have a little bit different approach than most. And I'm just going to go through this here, and I'll point out the differences in ours. So you come into the business, and you enroll Bob, Mary, and John, and these are all travel promoters, and you start building out your team, and you also you enroll Tina, and then Bob enrolls Mike and Amy, or Mike and Amy actually could have come from someone up above you. That could be spillover. And that's what we call spillover, is when, and let's say Jane and Sue, actually someone 14 levels above you in the matrix has a full matrix all the way down to you, they can spill over into your organization. Jane and Sue could have also just as easily been signed up by Mary. So time moves along, and you enroll Lou, and Phil and Jay come in, and then you enroll Deb. And this continues to fill in all the way through 10 compressed levels. Now, the way that the matrix fills in is it goes from left to right, top to bottom, left to right, in the weakest leg available. So, for example, in this case, this is, well, it's already full here, but let's just say if you look under Tina, Mike, Amy, Jane, as you go across there, the way the matrix fills out, it will fill in Tina's position 1, then the next one would be Mike's position 1, Amy's position 1, Jane's position 1, and so on. And when all the position 1s all the way across are full, then it will go back and it'll fill in the position 2s. It'll start with Tina's position 2, then Mike's, then Amy's, then Jane's, and then once those are all done, it fills in the position 3. So the main difference with our matrix, as opposed to some that you may have heard of, is that we have what's called compression. And the way this works is whenever anyone who is an affiliate or travel promoter, whenever they are qualified, and we're going to talk here in just a minute about how you become qualified for the matrix, only people who are actually qualified will occupy one of your 10 levels. And anyone who, either if it's a retail customer who they also go into the matrix, all retail customers go in, and then any travel promoter who, let's say, for whatever reason they're just not qualified, I'll just wait and go through that in just a moment. But anyone who is not qualified is compressed out. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. Okay. You earn. You remember the 4 packages that we talked about: the $39, $69, $99, and $199. You earn 50 cents on the $39, $1 on the $69, $1.50 on the $99, and $3. So every time anyone in your matrix organization purchases the travel savings packages, you'll earn from 50 cents to $3 each and every time through 10 compressed levels. Okay, so now let's talk about the power of dynamic compression. We're going to go a little bit deeper into what I was just talking about. Let's say for whatever reason this month Lou is not qualified. The 3 people under him actually will roll up, right? It is as if they are on John's first level. Now, this is not a permanent change. This is only whenever the commissions are run at the end of the month, after the month closes and we run the commissions. This is just temporary, but Lou can become qualified again at any time in the future. But for this particular month, he is not qualified. Those 3, in effect, roll up and are treated as if they are at John's first level. That's compression right there. So you can imagine, not only can this dynamic compression really causes it to drive really deep in your matrix organization, not only that, but think about how it also expands it to, in effect, make it wider. So on your second level, in this case, instead of having just 9 qualified travel promoters, you actually have 2 additional in this case. This would widen your level 2 to 11 in this specific case. It's very, very powerful. This dynamic compression is the primary difference between ours and all other matrices. In most cases, if you had someone who was not qualified, and that would just kill a level of your matrix. So we really planned this to make it as lucrative as possible, and make it where there's really no case where you've got dead wood in your matrix organization, someone who is just not, hasn't brought people to the table, they're not selling anything. we don't want that to cost you money, so the compression takes care of that. So the 10 compressed levels, if you actually look at the actual structure, whenever they compress, it could be way more than just 3 by 10. If you look at the actual structure, the people that roll up, it literally could be tens or hundreds of levels, and the width is potentially unlimited. Okay, so let's talk about how you get qualified. This really is one of the most simple ways to become qualified for a matrix. There's not really onerous requirements, and one of the most powerful things about this is that you really don't have to build or personally enroll 400 travel promoters to make a very good living from a matrix. To become qualified for levels 1 and 2, all you have to do is personally activate 6 new accounts. Well, that is just as easy as giving somebody $100 in travel savings, and they whenever they register, that's an account. It's not as if you're having to go sell $1,000 worth of some product to become qualified. You're basically giving someone a free account that's got $100 in actual real value. So with 6, whenever you personally activate 6, you get 2 levels in the matrix, and when you get 6 more people to register, you're qualified for 4 levels. And then after this, it's really very straightforward. $500 in travel credit purchases, and this would be by your personal people that you have enrolled. And then beyond that, it's based on your entire team. Whatever your entire team builds, and you have $25,000 in purchases, and so we round it, so the $39 counts as $40, the $69 counts as $70, the $99 counts as $100, and so to be qualified for all 10 levels, whenever your team passes $100,000 in travel credit purchases, you're qualified for the whole shebang. So very straightforward. So let's just sort of recap on the 4 travel savings packages. You can see the amount and the savings. We've talked about that. The direct commissions is roughly 10%, and then the 3 by 10 matrix pay every time one of these set travel savings packages is purchased. It pays 10 compressed levels in the matrix at 50 cents a level, $1 per level, $1.50 in 3. So if you can imagine, over time you build up a team and you've got a whole bunch of retail customers. Every time one of these, let's just say, for example, you've got in a given month, if you build up a team, you've got 20,000 people, and let's say this month you've got 1,000 people, and 1,000 of them buy the $199. There's right there, that's $3,000 commission right there. What's even more powerful is that you earn a 50% matching bonus on the matrix earnings of every affiliate you ever sponsor. So let me go into a little bit more detail about this. So in this case, you have sponsored Bob, Mary, John, Tina, Deb, Lou, all of the ones highlighted in yellow. Every time that they make matrix commissions, you earn 50% of that amount. So if Bob this month earns $1,000 in the matrix, you earn $500. Mary earns $100, you earn $50. John earns $5,000, you earn $2,500. The power of this to expand your income and make this even more lucrative is just, I think the power of this, what you're going to see over time as you build your team and these commissions roll and the teams build out, the scenario just like on the left side here, let's look at Bob. Now Bob is earning commissions from all of that matrix. Now you're earning 10 levels down underneath Bob, okay, and then Bob is earning, so on 10 levels under him, Tina is earning 10 levels under her, and the one to the right of Tina is earning 10 levels under them. So when you really think about this, not only are you making your personal 10 compressed levels of commissions yourself, you're also making half of what Bob is making on that, and what Tina is making. And then, I mean, you're literally are getting paid about 3 times on the sales in those. Pardon me just a moment. So you're literally getting paid about 3 times on this particular scenario. So if you have someone who you've personally rolled, but your matrix is filling very quickly, and they wind up coming in on your 10th or 11th level, think about that. They're earning the matrix on their 10 levels, but that organization, as far as even with compression, they might be out of your 10 levels, but you're still earning on that down deep in your matrix because you've personally sponsored someone who falls down there. So whatever they make, you make 50%. So this is very significant income. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the power of real retail customers. For those of you who have been around network marketing for a long time, there are just a few legacy companies out there that have really, for example, Mary Kay, Amway has been around for forever. These big name legacy companies, if you look at the ones who really become legacy companies, they have actual retail customers. Now at Panvoya, in A Smarter Way to Travel, we really believe that the longevity of the company is going to be built on retail customers. So what does that mean? With the value that people actually get from booking travel in our travel savings, this is actual real value that any consumer can benefit from. It's not like other companies where someone's selling a bottle of vitamins and from XYZ network marketing company, it's $20. Well, you can go down to Walmart and you compare the prices, and they have basically the same ingredients. Company XYZ is at $20, selling it for $20, so they have money to pay commissions. Well, Walmart, it's only $5 for the same thing. How long do you think that company is going to really be able to make that work? It just doesn't make sense to the average consumer. In fact, many companies, if they are not part of if they're not a distributor or part of the compensation plan, chances are they really probably wouldn't be buying the products in the first place. Well, that's completely different here at Panvoya. These travel savings through A Smarter Way to Travel, it just makes perfect sense to any consumer. It's real savings. Now, I'm getting ready to show you an example. It's kind of an extreme example here. So you build your team and you bring in Bob, Mary, and John as affiliate travel promoters. And let's say that is as big as your team ever gets. If every single person that you bring to the table and every single person that Bob, Mary, and John bring to the table are all retail customers, I'm going to show you this example here that you literally can completely fill out your matrix with only retail customers. Now, keep in mind that retail customers can also refer retail customers. I mean, you could potentially refer, a brother or sister, and they refer someone, and they refer someone, and they refer someone. Since you are the first affiliate travel promoter upline from those, you'll get all the direct commissions. So that's the first benefit of retail customers. Every time travel savings are purchased, you earn the direct commission. Now, as this matrix fills out, keep in mind that anyone who is not a qualified affiliate travel promoter is compressed out. So in this case, you literally could have a matrix with thousands of people with a 2-level matrix. Just think about how powerful would that be to have a complete organization of retail customers and they all compress. Now, think about the people. Wouldn't you like to have someone in your downline organization who had about 10,000 retail customers on their front line? And think about in this case, from you, the 8 people above you are going to love you. Now, so let's talk about this for just a minute. These retail customers, how can the retail customers, this can come through internet marketing. This could come through handing out business cards with, you literally could go to the mall with a pocket full of business cards, free $100 in travel savings, and just sign people up. It could be your friends, family. It could be and really the most powerful part of this is when they refer each other. So when we're talking about building out a team, this actually is feasible, especially if you had you did some internet marketing and Bob, Mary, and John did some internet marketing. You literally could fill out a matrix with just retail customers. It's extremely, extremely powerful. Okay. That is my presentation for today on the compensation plan. I hope that you've gained a lot from this. The main takeaway message that I want every single one to understand: once we go out with our social media campaign and we open this thing up to retail customers, we really believe that this thing is going to grow very rapidly and very big. You need to be out in front of this. You need to be building your teams right now, laying in a solid organization so that when we get rolling with this with our retail customers, you're not started flat-footed. You need to be starting out, if you could build a team, and we are completely focused on building affiliate travel promoters out right now. Your best strategy is to build as quickly as you can so that whenever we come out of the gate with this, and I think that this is going to be so very, very viral with just incredible savings that literally everyone you know can benefit from. Every retail customer who, I really believe that we're going to have so many more retail customers than we have travel promoters. It's just going to be amazing. So your strategy is just as hard and as fast as you can build them. I would be making phone calls. I would be talking to everybody I know and building out your team, so that whenever we roll this out to the social media and all of the retail customers, that it just geometrically grows very, very quickly. So thank you very much for being here today. At this point, I'm going to ask Ray and John to come on and to talk about if there's anything that specific questions they would like to have answered, or any other topics they want to discuss.
I'm
John?
here, buddy. Yep.
Very good.
Now, does anybody, if you have a question, if you would, type it into the chat box so we can get that question answered. And I hope everybody understands when Mac's talking about compression that the retail customers compress up to the next qualified travel promoter. So where it says, you know, you can fill up your matrix with retail customers, you could, but they're all going to compress to the next qualified travel promoter. So keep in mind, customers on the date that the commissions run do not take up an available space and cut you out of one of your levels in the matrix.
That's right.
That is right. And Gigi asked a question, explain the need of 39 travel promoters. Well, that could be 3. It could be 39, it could be 59, it could be 109. You just want to you don't have to have a team if you're not a recruiter. That's what this whole thing is about. Unlike other companies, you know, I've been around this industry for 21 years. John's been around this industry for 28 years. Max has been around this industry for just as long as all of us. We've all seen the hype and jive, the smoke and mirror companies that say, you know, they don't even talk about their product, which is funny to me. I had a top leader in the industry say, well, you've got to look at XYZ company. It's a pills, potions, and lotions. I got on their webinar just out of respect, and all they did was talk about recruit, 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 recruit. It had nothing to do with their product. They never even mentioned their product. All they talked about was their compensation plan and recruiting, and what recruiting would get you when somebody bought in at $1,500. They didn't talk about the quality of the product. We have a real product. That's what sets us apart, and that's what Max was talking about when he was talking about the legacy companies early on in this presentation. The Amways, the Mary Kays, the prepaid legals, those are legacy companies because they have a real product and they have real customers. Almost every company out there is based on what we call internal consumption. Okay, internal consumption is what gets companies shut down because it's their distributors that are buying the product. Now, Vicki has a question. How does one get qualified if they do not get their first 3 promoters? To be qualified, I'm going to go ahead and answer that, Max, if that's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Again, to get qualified, you have to give away to 6 people a $100 free account. That gives you levels 1 and 2. For levels 3 and 4, you have to do it again. And Vicki, that's a great question. That just goes back to exactly what I'm saying. You do not have to recruit
That's right.
to get qualified. This is a consumer-based compensation plan. You could be all by yourself. That's been one of the big statistics in this industry, that a brand new person in network marketing that's brand new, they've heard about it, they've looked at it, but nothing really tickled their fancy, but they've said, you know what, I'm going to jump into a smarter way to travel, and the average person is going to sponsor 3 people. Well, what if somebody doesn't sponsor anybody, but they're a huge internet marketer? What if they're the president of a company and they can, you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
They have a large database of people. This isn't promoter driven for you to qualify. It's customer driven for you to qualify. That is what will stand the test of time. And I mean, there are so many companies out there right now. If they got audited, their consumer base is their distributor base. They don't
That's
have
right.
customers. And back to the webinar I got on, just out of respect for the other top leader in the industry, it was a show me yours, I'll show you mine type of a deal. At the end of it, I said, "Well, how many customers do you have?" And he goes, "How many what?" I said, I said customers, retail customers, people that are actually buying this product. So I think we've done a good job there. Is it supposed to be working? Okay. Stacy just hit refresh. So if you don't build a large group of retail customers, how do you get paid? Don, you have to have a group of retail customers. I mean, that's all there is to it. So that was a question from Don, and Don said I'm sorry. So if you did just build a large group of retail customers, how do you get paid? You get paid on the retail commissions. Again, the 4, the 7, the 10, and the 20, based on what credit package was purchased, and at the same time, depending on if you have other travel promoters fall underneath you, it would also be based on the 50 cents, the dollar, the $1.50, and the $3 that's paid through the matrix.
That's right.
Okay, and Don also said being customer driven is what really attracted me to this company. And Don, I thank you for saying that. That's what we're hearing across the board and across the world. Again, we're open for business in 87 countries. We've got groups growing in about 27 of those countries, and everybody is falling in love with this concept because they're not being pushed to go out and hit somebody for $249 down and $59 a month, and it's a bunch of product or something they're just going to stack up in their garage. This is a customer driven, and I keep emphasizing this when I'm doing the webinars. We are beating not only the large online travel booking engines, but we're beating the hotel direct prices as well. And people are just astounded and astonished by that. They're like, how can you beat a company who owns their own product, being hotels or resorts? It's all in the contracts. Okay, so a real deal beating everyone 20 to 70%. And I'm going to say it again. If we cannot beat a price, the price will not show up on our search results. And if someone finds a better price within 24 hours after booking, they get 110% of their money back. So, does anyone else have any more questions?
Ray, I would like to speak up
Sure.
for just a moment. One of the things that I do think is very, very important for you as an affiliate, whenever I want everyone to be prepared, because what happens a lot of times whenever, at least what I've seen is whenever someone will go and they'll set up their travel savings account and they do a search, and in fact I had a friend of mine looking at it just about 3 weeks ago, and he goes, well, I'm looking this Hilton Anatole here, this is on a Thursday night. This one now, yours says $204, and I'm looking right here on Booking.com, and it says it's $199. Booking.com has got you beat by $5. And I'm like, well, on the Booking.com, go ahead and click Book Now. And if you'll notice on our price, yes, it's $204, but you see where it says tax included there, and I said, now on the Booking.com site, click Book Now. And then he clicked it, and he came up, and he goes, oh, and I can't remember what it was now. It's something like, with the taxes and all the everything on there, it was like roughly $240. So he goes, oh, I see. I didn't understand that taxes are included in your price. And I can tell you on all of the major online travel booking sites that you look at, they're trying to show the best price. They do not show the taxes. So whenever you're doing a comparison, and especially if you're doing a, in front of someone and showing it to them. Just make sure and point that out. Because I think for a lot of consumers, they're just not used to seeing the prices with the tax. And if they don't specifically see that right underneath our price, they may not understand. And so that was an important point that I wanted to bring up.
That is absolutely a very important point, because a lot of times people in your life are going to play the devil's advocate. I hate that saying, but they're going to play the devil's advocate, and they're going to say, well, that sounds good, but it's too good to be true. And but it's not, because, again, we play to win. And if we are not going to win, we are not going to play the game. And there's a question that came in from Annalee. So other travel companies that may have a special with lower prices, we'd give them 100%, 110% of the difference. The answer is it has to be a public price. It can't be behind a closed door, if that makes sense. So there are travel companies out there that do their own specials. They have their own inventory, but those aren't publicly displayed pricing. So it would have to come from an Orbitz, Expedia, Travelocity, Priceline, or a Hotel Direct. So do we guarantee to be a group rate or just public pricing? Stacy, that is public pricing. With group rates, that would go to our group department. You would just send in a request to support at panvoya.com, and the group department would start quoting you on that. But again, Mr. Paul Corey, our president and CEO, started this company, or his travel agency, at the age of 16. 27 years later, he's still sitting at the helm, and he ranks in the top 75 of all leisure vacation travel sales in the United States. It's hard to beat Paul's group department. Mm-hmm. So, and again, I can't emphasize this enough. A lot of people have sent in requests and said, or questions and said, well, I'm looking for XYZ hotel or resort. It did not show up in your search results. That's because we couldn't beat the public price. If we cannot win the game, we're not playing the game. So if it shows up, we know that we're beating everyone's price. If it doesn't show up, then that means that they're running some kind of a special, the margins aren't there, and things of that nature. So I hope that answered that question. Any further questions? We've been on for right at about 50 minutes. Any further questions out there? Okay, I just rebirth of the company, but they have a large upfront and higher. Okay, this is from Dawn. I was just hit up this week to rejoin YTB, or rather the rebirth of the company, but they still have the large upfront and a higher monthly, and if that drives their comp plan, I told them thanks, but found something much better. Go, Dawn. And that's what we're running into. Again, let's talk about reality. If you were looking at a company, and John says this the best, if you look at a company and you would not be part of it if there wasn't a money-making opportunity behind it, would you join the company? I'm not going to bash any of our quote-unquote competition, which, by the way, we really don't have any. A lot of people are jumping into things that are money games. I had an opportunity a couple of weeks ago with one of our field advisory board members to speak with a top leader at another I choked up on that one, another travel deal. And I said, he spat it out. He goes, well, we're using Priceline for our booking engine. And I said, we're beating Priceline 20 to 70%. What do you have now? And he goes, well, I really don't book any travel. I'm just focusing on the compensation plan. I'm like, okay, let me get this straight. I just told you that we're crushing your prices 20 to 70%. And you come back and tell me you're focused only on the compensation plan, but your product is travel? And he goes, yeah, man, I'm not really focused on travel. I'm focused on the comp plan. I'm like, well, how much longer is your comp plan going to run if we're beating your prices directly 20 to 70%? And he goes, well, I'm just hoping people don't hear about you guys. So
great strategy there.
Yeah. Okay, Jan says, my question is, I know a travel agent who asked me to become part of his company. I declined. Should I send this to him and see if he would be interested. Absolutely, Jan, absolutely. Um, Anybody that's out there that's in the travel segment, myself, Max, John, most of the field advisory boards have not only been part of other travel companies, we're friends with most of the owners of the other travel companies, or we know them, or we've been in meetings with them. You want to reach out and you kind of want to shake people for a second and go, no, listen. Okay, we're not gonna give you a funny button, and we're not going to put you in part of a membership where you can only get discounts certain times of the month only if you go on that one trip. You know, Paul said it best. This is the Groupon of travel that's available to be used at over 300,000 locations, and it never stops. It never expires. Like a Groupon, you go to dinner that normally would have cost you $100, you pay $25 for a Groupon, but once you walk out of the restaurant, you can't walk back in and get that price again. This is the everlasting gobstopper of travel. You can buy credits again and again and again. Now, Emily has another question. Can the search feature be adjusted so we can search for a hotel name? Yes, you can. Once you do your search, if you'll just go over to the left, like if you put in, Miami, Orlando, Palm Springs, San Diego, whatever, once the search results are there, over to the left, you'll be able to go, and it says hotel name. And so you just go in directly and you put in the hotel name. Now, I will also tell you this. Sometimes when a hotel is completely sold out, it will also not show up in the search results. I ran into that myself.
That's right.
Because there's no sense in putting it up there if there's no inventory available.
One of the things I think is interesting about what we have, you see oh gosh, there's no telling how many millions, potentially even billions of dollars are spent on advertising for the companies for Kayak and Trivago. You hear these big brands, and we go out and find you the best prices. Well, it's interesting. Our technology does exactly the same thing, but where the power of ours is, then it also goes and searches our vendor contracts, and that's where we differ. Now, and I'm trying to think, was that is a Priceline the one where you could go and you could see this? You can buy this 4-star hotel for $119 a night, but you can't know what the name of it is. All of those things are. That's because there's a concept called minimum advertised price. All of the hoteliers out there require, for advertising purposes, that you never show a price lower than what they have on their own website. That's completely understandable. If I owned a hotel myself, I would do that. Now, the reason why we are able to do these incredible prices is because it's behind a login. You have to have an account with us and log in, and you do the searches. It's just not allowed to advertise these. So that's one of the reasons why you notice on any of our public stuff, the name of the hotel and the picture, anything that would be identifiable, is blurred out. That's another point that I want to just raise and make sure that everybody understands that. The minimum advertised price is a real thing, and the hoteliers are, it's very, very important to them. So just make sure in your own advertising, I mean, it's okay anytime to, pull up your account and show your friends and all that kind of stuff, but when it, don't ever, for example, take screenshots and put them on your Facebook, those sorts of things. That's really, really important that you guys don't ever, disclose the name of a hotel and our great price that's less than what's on the hotel website. That will stir up trouble for everybody. So want to make sure everybody's clear on that.
All right, Max, there's a question from Jason. I'm going to let you handle this one. I have several people that are in some other travel companies that I've told them about this. They are interested, but when they get to my page, they decline because they don't want to fill out a capture page. Will there be in the future another way to people to view our site?
Yes, is the answer. We anticipate that one of there. Yes, is the answer. For the most part, the marketing funnels are going to be one of the main ways that people get to the site. Where they come, there'll be a short video, put in their name, email, first name and email. They click, they see a longer video that explains how everything works. Then they you know, and once the second video starts, we have it now where 15-20 seconds in, you can click to just create my account now. We will be creating a join page where you could, if your username for your referral site, let's just say it's XYZ. So you send people to a smarter way to travel / XYZ. We will have a join page set up there within the next few weeks where you can just send them directly. And we'll probably leave the video at the top in case people do want to see it, but it'll just be a join page. That has actually, that's not the first request for that we've gotten. We anticipate, however, that it's just from a pure sales and business standpoint, it's really a lot more effective when you get people to look to just put in their, the first name and their email address, so that way when you can look in your lead management tool in your back office, you can follow up with them, send them emails and all that kind of stuff. So yes, there will be a mechanism. I personally really think that the lead mechanism will be better for most people. As far as your friend that was concerned about putting their name in a lead, we're not going to be contacting anyone who puts the lead in. I mean, we don't sell that information. The company will not be contacting them. That's basically part of your lead management, and I would just explain that if anyone does one who's going to see that, there's no reason to be concerned. So
Jennifer asked, will there be a recording of this webinar? I have several people that wanted to make it but couldn't be here. Yes, Jennifer, this will be recorded. It will also be hosted in the very near future. It'll be on my YouTube channel, and then once we get it completely rendered, we are creating a video section in the back office for all the pertinent videos. And I want to go back and address a little bit about what Jason said. Jason, we have what's called a clean, sanitized video that I did last week, where all the names of the hotels are erased from it or blurred out. And so instead of me saying, like I usually do on the webinars, this is Orlando, July 1st through July 8th, at Disney's Animal Kingdom came back at whatever it came back at, I just say this is a 4-star resort, very well known in the Orlando area. If you notice, if you go to the third one down, instead of me saying it's the Flamingo Water Park, I say this is a 3-star resort with a water park at $1,483 with a total savings of $1,055. That makes it $428 for a family of 4 for an entire week. So a lot of people, even myself, just so everyone knows, I don't fill out stuff like that. Lead capture stuff, I just go, nope, not looking at it. Because I don't want, even though the company's not going to reach out and start communicating with me, that distributor will, and they will start hounding me. Now, we don't do that. Our distributors do not do that. But a lot of companies, once they have your information, they'll start just inbox, inbox, inbox. But we have a sanitized video. You can go to Ray Dietrich on YouTube, and it is there. And let's see, I understand the matrix, but will there be a webinar on how to use our bank savings account? Yeah, absolutely, Linda. We'll be doing a webinar on how to do that. It's real simple. You just put in your destination and the dates you want to go, and you click search, and it searches. and then you find which hotel or resort works best for you, and you can also filter the savings on biggest savings amount, on the ratings of the resort. Um, you can search it however you want to. A lot of people, and also keep in mind, okay, you can book additional rooms. That was a question that came up on a webinar the other day. Well, what if I want, what if my entire family's going? My sister and I and her family and my family, yeah, you could book additional rooms.
Mhm.
And you can book for people and you can show them. And that's one of the greatest things about, if you're not using join.me as just a quick go-to screen share, it's free. You can put up to 8 other people, including yourself, on it. Facts tell, stories sell. I love the fact that I can go to join.me, open up my booking engine, and get, Joe Smith in Atlanta on the call, and I'm on the phone with them, and at the same time, I'm like, where do you want to go? Because, again, people are going to play the devil's advocate. They're going to tell you it's too good to be true and all that, and go, no, hey, Joe, just go get on join.me, type in 196-701-848, and let me show it to you, and you tell me where you want to go. And I really challenge everyone to get familiar with that booking engine. I know the majority of the Field Advisory Board are on it every day, looking at some of the most obscure places on the planet. And I want to go back because this is by an invite-only call, so I am going to throw one company under the bus, and that's Priceline. And I'm really not going to throw them under the bus. I just want to point something out. They're running a commercial, not the one where William Shatner's playing in the pool with the kids, but they're running another commercial where at the end of it, he's standing out on the sidewalk outside of a hotel, and he's got his billfold open, and all these business cards are falling out of it. And Kaylee Coco says, "Dad, what are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm just looking through our 65,000 relationships." Okay, what in essence he is saying is that Priceline only has 65,000 options for booking. We have over 300,000 around the world.
That's right.
And we're not a billion-dollar company that spends billions of dollars in TV and internet advertising. Now, think about that for a second. How did these people that are in pre-launch, without spending billions of dollars, get 300,000 relationships to book around the world? And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to go higher.
Mm-hmm.
A lot higher.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to be adding in rental cars in the very near future. So, let's see. Annalise says, I still would like to be able to search by hotel name with putting in a specific area. I've had people asking about specific hotels. Unfortunately, it won't work that way. You have to put in the geographic location, and then you can filter from there, because the way the software works is once it compiles all the search results, it then allows you to search by hotel name. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 5 after 11. If there are no further questions, I want to go ahead and conclude this. I also want to thank you for your time. We'll be doing the webinars on Monday at 1 and 8 o'clock. Drive everyone you can there, even though we are customer specific. You do want a team like Gigi had asked earlier. Well, what about the 39 travel promoters? You want to have as many as you can, but we just wanted to be different. That was one of the things that the Field Advisory Board insisted on, is that we want people to understand that we are a real deal. We are customer driven. We are also travel promoter driven. But you don't have to go out and recruit the entire world to have this be a success to you. You just have to go gather customers. Whose YouTube channel? Jennifer, that would be my YouTube channel, Ray Dietrich. And John always asks me to say this. I'm Ray Dietrich from Dallas, Texas. I am not Ray Dietrich from California. Apparently, there's another gentleman in the network marketing segment, also with the name of Ray Dietrich, that lives in California. I'm not that person. I'm the one from Dallas. So, having said that, I'm going to conclude this call. I wish each and every one of you a great day. Max, thank you for the explanation. Appreciate you being on here. I know you've got a lot of stuff to do as far as how this company runs. So I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to let everybody else go, and wish you guys a great day. And hopefully somewhere, sometime, I will see each and every one of you on the beaches of the world. Thanks and goodbye.